Hey, this is David. Hope you're doing well. This is your leadership tip of the day for Wednesday, November 13th, 2024. Block time each week for strategic thinking to ensure focus on the bigger picture. So, this is something that we all need to do. We need to take time and block time on your calendar, on our calendar, for strategic thinking. Block block that time to so that you can focus on a bigger view than just what you're focusing on in the moment. Imagine that you're working with your team and you need to make an important decision. Instead of making the decision alone, bring your team together, provide them with context, and ask them for input. This obviously builds trust, encourages ownership, and often leads to a more robust decision. And it's a great way to foster collaborative decision making. Make sure everybody feels safe to share their thoughts without judgment. You could start by saying, I value everybody's perspective here, and I want to work on this challenge together. This type of language gives your team the opportunity to take ownership and to show that their ideas, thoughts, and voices matter. Involving your team doesn't mean you have to reach a consensus every time. It just doesn't. You're not going to do it. Not everybody is going to agree on the same thing every time. But it does mean that people have the chance to contribute. And it allows you to get things maybe on the next in programming teams, we call this sprints, or in the next series of updates or changes or things that need to happen with your organization. It results in better outcomes and a more stronger, cohesive team. So find an opportunity to bring your team together in the decision-making processes. It might be something big. It might even be a smaller issue like how to improve team workflow. Let your team see that their input has real value, and that will help engagement of your team grow as a result. Now, so make sure you put that on your calendar. Do that once a week, once a month, once a quarter, whatever you feel like is necessary to create the opportunity for people to weigh in on futuring on the strategy that your organization will take in the future. And because you're giving them a voice and because you're listening to them, they will own it if done well and done right. So do that. I would also say, and this is something that I practice. Both of these I practice on a regular basis. Not only take time for strategic thinking, but block time off every day to make sure you have time to do your work. I've been in organizations where they have you're in so many meetings that you don't get to start your work until the end of the day. In some cases, 5 o'clock. So take time to block off time on your schedule, either in the morning or the afternoon or both. Block time off for lunch. So people can't just own you. You control your schedule, not them. Years ago, when I was a developer, one of the things that I would do is on my phone voicemail, I would put, "Hey, thanks for calling. I am deep in programming at the moment. I will check all calls and emails after 1 p.m. and return all calls and emails after 1 p.m." And I remember my boss called one day and he got my voicemail and he came in a little bit later and he wasn't very happy. And so I reminded him that for every interruption that I get, it's a 20-minute, it takes me 20 minutes to get back in focus on what I'm doing. And so blocking that time from 8:30 or 9 to noon and then taking lunch from noon to 1 really allows me to be the most productive version of myself. And once he heard that, he stopped. He didn't complain anymore. He knew that if he came in, he was going to, it was going to cost 20 minutes or so just for me to stop, focus on him, and then turn around and get back to what I was doing. So take time not only to block off your calendar for strategic thinking that engages and empowers your team, but take time to block off time so that you can get things done, so that you control your schedule and not everyone else. You think about that. Have a great day. Hey, thanks for listening. If you liked this episode, please subscribe. And if you liked it really well, please take a moment to give us a review on Apple Podcasts or YouTube or wherever you're listening to your podcast. Thanks so much for listening to Innova Radio's Leadership Tip of the Day. Have a great day.